best places to visit in 2018. Planning your 2018 vacation and starting to think about just going back to that place you went last year with the okay-ish beach and the mediocre cocktails? Come on, you know you can do better. Check them out below and find the inspiration for your next adventure. Cape Verde Islands. What do you get when you blend Brazilian, African and Iberian influences in a place already blessed with incredible weather and scenery? The Cape Verde Islands off the west coast of Africa, which are finally coming into their own as an exotic vacation destination. The 10-island Atlantic archipelago, around 570 kilometers 350 miles west of Dakar, mixes pristine beaches and outdoor adventure with a unique homegrown culture. A melting pot simmering since the 15th century when Portuguese navigators came across the uninhabited islands. The islands are best known for music, a melodic heritage that borrows from all three of its mother cultures and that provided one of the sparks of the modern world beat sound. Despite its small population, Cape Verde has spawned 5 distinct musical genres including morna, the national music and dance. Volcanic peaks provide a dramatic backdrop to the archipelago's beaches and bays, waterfront towns spangled with pastel houses and hiking trails that meander across lava fields. Along deep ravines and through the island's bizarre dragon trees. There's history too. Like the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Cidade Velha, a 15th-century Portuguese outpost where Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama stopped off on their epic voyages of discovery. Don't miss sip locally made grog rum while listening to morna, folk tunes sung in the local Crioulo dialect, in a bodega along the waterfront of Mindelo town on São Vicente Island. Bodum Sakhor National Park, Cambodia. Stretching across the southwestern corner of Cambodia, Bodum Sakhor is the largest national park in the country. With ecosystems ranging from dense evergreen rainforest to coastal plains and grasslands. Within it lies the Southwest Elephant Corridor, a 700-square-mile area that's home to Cambodia's largest population of Asian elephants as well as villages, waterfalls, rare birds and saltwater crocs. Recently, a crop of eco-oriented tented camps, all promising eco-initiatives and low-impact accommodations have sprung up. Coming in 2018, Shintamani Wild, the Bensley Collection is slated to open in a 400-acre river valley just southeast of Bodum Sakhor, between Bokor National Park and Kariram National Park. Owned and designed by prolific resort designer Bill Bensley, the Rainforest Sanctuary, decorated in a vintage safari style, will provide 15 stilted tents, as well as a restaurant, bar and spa. The camp will work with environmental partners, including Wildlife Alliance, Fauna Flora International and the Cambodian government, to protect the area from mining and deforestation. From this luxurious home base, travelers can explore the park's thick mangroves and rainforest with rangers, kayak along the estuaries or visit local fishing villages. Malta. Valletta, the capital of Malta, has been named Europe's Capital of Culture for 2018, and the timing couldn't be better. Located between Italy and Tunisia, Malta exists at a crossroads that makes for a fascinating history. Within a 20-minute bus ride, you'll feel like you've journeyed from ancient Greece to the Middle East and back. And you're as likely to find a bowl of Sardinian-style pasta as a doner kebab, with the country being added to more cruise ship itineraries. You'll want to hurry and get there before Valletta becomes as packed and overwhelmed as Venice and before St. John's Co-Cathedral. Birthplace of the famous Knights of Malta Cross becomes yet another place you're sick of seeing on Instagram. Serbia. The jigsaw puzzle of countries that once made up Yugoslavia have, in recent years, become some of Europe's most talked about destinations. Particularly the Adriatic coastlines of Croatia and Montenegro. Serbia has somehow lagged behind. Not for long, though. Visitors are beginning to descend on this largely undiscovered corner of the region, lured by terrific scenery, rich history, incredible value for money and a lot of cheese. Belgrade has already established itself as a city that can party and, in much the same way Eastern Europe's big cities did 10 or 15 years ago, is shedding urban Soviet gloom and rushing headlong towards a glitzier future. By its borders with Bosnia and Kosovo, Serbia's Kopaonik and Zlatibor national parks offer winter sports and summer escapes in epic mountain scenery. The Tara National Park has gorges overlooked by forested karst hills. In Serbia's deep south, Thivavaveros or Devil's Town offers a crazy geological spectacle of weird rocky pinnacles. While Serbia lacks its own coastline, the mighty Danube River still lures summertime swimmers to a castle-strewn Riviera. Nevis. These days, anyone with a Spotify account can probably tell you that Alexander Hamilton was born in the Caribbean before coming to the colonies. But how many can tell you which island he was born on? That would be quiet, lovely Nevis, that's pronounced Navis, which is not as well known as its larger twin, St. Kitts. Unlike many of its Caribbean neighbors, Nevis was spared damage from Hurricanes Maria and Irma in 2017, which means its elegant white beaches may now experience a deserved uptick in tourists. And even people who think they've seen them all when it comes to Caribbean islands will look in awe at the quieter, simpler, more connected with nature way of life here. Your best bet? Check out the Four Seasons Island property, encircled by palm trees and endless sea vistas, to really feel like you've gotten away from it all. Banff, Canada. Few destinations have the year-round appeal of Banff, located in Alberta, in the Canadian Rockies. As the country emerges from its highly touted 150th anniversary, the timing is ideal to take in the natural beauty of the oldest national park in Canada. Whether passions tend toward skiing and snowshoeing or kayaking and mountain hiking, Banff is unrivaled for all lovers of the great outdoors. Though Banff National Park welcomes 4 million visitors each year, it never really feels overcrowded, save perhaps for the peak months of July and August. The Fairmont Banff Springs is a National Historic Site, and resembles a medieval castle right out of a Disney film, Frozen, perhaps. It's an ideal and luxurious base from which to experience the best of Banff. And if you're wondering how Banff got its unusual name, it is named for Banffshire, Scotland, the birthplace of two of the original directors of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Nagano, Japan. Nagano, a land of chilled soba noodles, steaming onsen hot springs and perfectly powdery snow, hosted the 1998 Winter Olympics, but is only now emerging as an international travel destination. Spurred by the upcoming 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics, a series of new and improved hotels have emerged in the mountains around the city, among them the revamped Rizenair Yatsugatake, which celebrates winemaking and evokes Italian mountain villages. Openings also include Kai-Alps, a luxury in-style ryokan near the famed Omachi Hot Springs in northern Nagano, and the Scandi design-inspired House of Finjel Ski Hotel, hidden away in the mountains of Hakuba. Yet another option is the new Karuizawa Marriott Hotel, which balances English-language services with Japanese aesthetics for a relaxing result, clean lines, neutral colors and in-room onsens. If the impeccably groomed ski slopes of the Hakuba Valley aren't enough of a draw, there's the history, culture and relaxing hot springs of the all-natural Nagano area. Or the beautifully preserved 17th-century Matsumoto Castle. Puebla, Mexico. About 100 miles south of Mexico City is Puebla, the country's fourth biggest city. Though locals have long known about Poblano food culture, mole and the chalupa were both invented here, and dazzling architecture, ornate Baroque churches and the country's oldest public library. For starters, a few key new hotel openings will bring international tourists to this charming, underrated city. Following an earthquake in September 2017, the city is already on the road to recovery, although some of its historic churches are still under scrutiny. The Rosewood Puebla, which opened in 2017, will soon be joined by the Hotel Cartesiano, an upscale boutique property in a former tile factory. Don't miss the new International Museum of the Baroque pays homage to Puebla's rich design history in a building that's just as beautiful on the outside as on the inside. Rwanda. The small, Central African country has been surfing a tide of good news stories in recent years as it distances itself from a troubled past with glowing accounts of its amazing volcanic landscape. Clean streets, stable government and efforts to preserve endangered mountain gorillas. May 2017 saw Rwanda gamble on doubling the price of gorilla trekking permits to $1,500, making it up to 3 times the price of some permits in neighboring Uganda. The plan is clearly to corner a more upscale market, catered for with the opening of new premium lodges, including Onionli's Nyungwe House, and help supercharge the country's tourism economy. As Africa escapes go, it does look attractive if you can afford it. Verdant national parks such as Akagera, volcanoes and Nyungwe Forest are home to safari favorites including lions, hippos, crocs and rare primates. In 2017, Akagera completed its Big Five list with the triumphant reintroduction of eastern black rhinos after they vanished 10 years ago. Throw in pleasant year-round temperatures of about 27 Celsius and direct flights from London and Rwanda could become one of the most tempting luxury year-round escapes on offer. Don't miss suspended and knee-wobbling 50 meters above the floor of the Nyungwe Forest. The canopy walk takes visitors across a narrow 200-meter bridge through treetops teeming with life. Crete. How do you like your Greek gods? Fantastical heroes of ancient legend, or sun-kissed beauties atop powder-soft beaches? Either way, Crete has you covered. Heraklion, the Cretan capital, was Europe's fastest-growing tourism destination of 2017. Those visitors are coming to Greece's largest, most diverse island to enjoy 3,000 square miles of mountains, valleys and sandy shores lapped by the Aegean and Libyan seas, as well as 3,000 hours of sunshine a year. For history buffs, there are the archaeological treasures left by the Minoans, Europe's oldest civilization, who flourished here in 2600 BCE. Heraklion's archaeological museum is a useful primer before visiting the sprawling palace of Knossos, once home to 100,000 people in the mythical half-man half-bull Minotaur. Western Crete has the Venetian splendor of Chania and Rethymna, while the skyline is dominated by the limestone peaks of the Lefkori, or White Mountains. The mountains are slashed with around 30 gorges, the most famous of which is the 16-kilometer-long Maria Gorge. Crete enjoys balmy temperatures April through October and is ringed with a host of impressive beaches. Diving trips in the clear, warm waters allow guests to view underwater canyons, World War II wrecks and a rich variety of marine life. The most celebrated beach is Elafonisi on the southwest coast, renowned for its delicately hued pink coral sand.